So friends, I wanted to give you brief outlook of strengths and weaknesses of yourself now. And let me show you what really I am going to show you first part of this part of the story regarding your strengths and weaknesses. I will then come back. What exactly are our strengths and weaknesses, which nobody of you will pinpoint it. Yes. As a teacher, your most important strength is your knowledge, your skills, your attitudes. So most important strength, as I said, knowledge, skill, KSA. These are some most important strengths as a teacher. Next best are your qualities. I may say referent part. These may be in terms of your confidence, your good communication skills, your capabilities to work in team, your leadership skills, all the soft part. This is number two part of the story. Then your personal characteristics like being ethical, being justice, judicious, having self-discipline, working under pressure, having a creative mind, optimism, high of energy. This comes the third level. The fourth level is the partnership part I told you. In today's scenario, no one is self-sufficient. You can see this in automotive sector now. Most of the companies have understood if they want to survive, they have to have cars in different ranges, different cost ranges, or in different sections. The tie-ups made by different companies you can see here in the Indian automotive sector only. Toyota and Suzuki, they are having partnership with each other. They are sharing, Maruti, I'm talking, Maruti Suzuki, they are having contact. Some of the cars are being made at one platform at the platform of Toyota, others are being made at the platform of Suzuki or Maruti, but being shared with different names, because so that every company should have the almost every type of range of cars so that they can wow the customers. This is one example. Then Kia and Hyundai. Similarly, many other companies in different sectors are having networking with each other because they understand they cannot make every range, every level, because it becomes sometimes not being cost effective. Sometimes you don't have technology for everything. Some of the people may be very good in EV section, some may be very good in hybrid section, some may be good in petrol section, some may be good in diesel or CNG part, but every part they may not be successful. That's why they are venturing together to make woe the people to customers so that they have every type of range. So this is an environment in which you need to network with others, you need to have good contacts with others. This is another strength which you need to have. How will you have this type of strength? This type of strength you will only have when you have interaction with different set of people. And that is the past part of the story, last part of the story. Interaction with professional organizations, with professionals, individuals, so that you know what are their strengths and weaknesses, so that you can make contacts, networks, partnerships, teams to be successful. This gives a perspective of what we feel, which I feel are the strengths and weaknesses. Similarly, on negatives of these are the weaknesses of an individual. I will show you on the similar slide. I showed you some of the strengths in terms of knowledge, skills, attitude, then your referent part, then your soft part, then your networking part, and how they can generate this. Whatever you are not having, whatever you are is not working for you, in a positive fashion becomes a weakness for you. This is on the same lines. The things which are not working for you in a positive fashion becomes the weaknesses for you. So these are the strengths and weaknesses. These are both internalized. These are both internalized. Okay. Now let me go back. Let me go back. SWOT, as I said, here is an acronym with 4 alphabets: SWOT. S and W, by now it is very clear to you. S and W is strengths and weaknesses. And O and T, opportunity and threats, or threats can be also called challenges. Sometimes this is also called SWOT analysis, SWOC. Here, there are two types of analysis: situational analysis. One is internal analysis, other is external analysis. Internal analysis gives us what? Strengths and weaknesses. External analysis gives us other two parts of the story: opportunities and threats. How this analysis was given? First given by Harvard. In 60s to 70s, this was analysis given by Harvard University. And this is very applicable or apt in today's scenario when we are to believe in that statement what I have given as Sun Tzu, because this is a competitive word. We are daily saying this is a competitive word. If you will not do it, somebody else will do it. If you will not analyze the environment, somebody will analyze it and use it for the benefit, and which will work wonders for them. Let me give you some examples here. One of the very first companies which came with the mobile phones was Motorola and also Nokia. A few years back, what happened with these companies? These were almost finished because at one point of time, these were the most successful companies in days in the terms of in the terms of mobile phones, because this type of technology more or less was brought by them. At that time, they were the masters of their field. They never thought outside. They thought whatever we are doing, whatever we are producing, this is going to make us leaders of this, and there can be there cannot be much changes in this field. But what happened afterwards? Many other companies came with better attributes, with better technology, with better understanding of the requirements of the customer, with better technical inputs like Apple, Samsung, and many Chinese companies even. And what happened? Motorola and Nokia were almost out of market for a few years. Because earlier these were thinking of their strengths and weaknesses. They were not thinking of what can happen in the outside world. They never thought of competition. They never thought of competitors. They were overconfident because whatever we are making, we are going to win. Because we are going to survive on this. We are going to be successful on this. They never thought of competition at all. But this is a competitive world. If you will not do it, somebody else will do it. Take the case of Kodak. At one point of time, it was the leader of photographic equipment and photographic material. What happened afterward? It could not visualize the digital world which is going to come. It could not think of it. It was out of word. That's the reason I said in this competitive, not knowing yourself is only important, but knowing the competition outside is equally important. Knowing your competitors is equally important. This type of strategy SWOT was given by Harvard in 60s and 70s, and it became highly applicable at that time, and now it is most appropriate or most apt into this scenario when there is lot of competition in every sector, every item, every consumable which is available in the market. I have given you some inputs about individual scheduling yourself. Now let me talk of your institution. Again, where you are working, it has competitors. These competitors may be some other technical institutions or some other educational institutions better equipped than you in many of the areas or any of the areas, better talent than you in many of the areas, or sometimes better environment, sometimes better demography. These plus points which are with them, unless you know these, you cannot make your strategies to succeed and na pehle first survive and then succeed in this environment. Now I am going to talk about institutional scan, SWOT of an institution. As I was telling you, I have conducted SWOT of lot many institutions. I have conducted SWOT of NIT Hamirpur. I have conducted SWOT of PEC University of Technology. I have conducted SWOT of most of the institutions in the state of Punjab. I have conducted SWOT of most of the institutions in the state of Haryana. I have conducted SWOT of the most of the institutions in the state of Uttarakhand, and many other institutions I have covered in terms of SWOT. Let me tell you one thing, friends, here. SWOT appears to be very easy on the very first go. Very easy on the very first go. It looks that everybody or anybody can conduct a SWOT. But let me tell you, it's not so easy to conduct a SWOT because there are many aspects which are to be looked into while conducting the SWOT, maybe of an individual or an institution as a whole. Let me give you some tips regarding SWOT of an institution. I generally say, as SWOT has four acronyms: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and accordingly, two are requiring internal scan, other two are requiring external scan. I am giving you the tips for this. For internal scan of any institution, I am saying understand 4 P's. This will give the whole picture of any institution. 4 P's. One slide is in front of you. First 2 P's are in front of you. People. First P is people. Many of you have done it, exercise. People means teaching staff, means faculty, technical staff, administrative staff. Now, what you are to judge in it? What you are to judge about these some set of people. First is the number, quantity, which is important in terms of regulatory requirements, which is important in terms of statutory requirements. Number of people or faculty required in terms of statutory requirement, maybe 1:20, 1:15, or 1:25, depending on the level of the institution. Maybe diploma, degree, or post-degree, post-graduation. So this is known to you. 1:15, 1:20, 1:25. Accordingly, when you measure your institution based on this number, if you are having more than this, a ratio is less than what 1:15, 1:20, 1:25, as per the level of the institution, you can always say that it is my strength, or the strength of the institution. Second parameter is in terms of qualifications of the same set of P, human resource I am talking, their qualification. Maybe BTech in diploma institutions, degree, and master's, then doctorate. These are the qualifications required in the degree institutions or post-degree institutions. These aspects can be measured very easily. These are called quantitative aspects. Small Q. I will say small Q. Anybody can do this. You are just judging in terms of number, whether these are available or not, and then their qualifications as required. These can be measured, as I said, by anybody. But more important part is the qualitative part. What that qualitative part is? That qualitative part is called commitment of the faculty or the staff motivation level of the faculty or staff, dedication of the faculty and staff. This part is very difficult to measure because this is not tangible. This is very difficult to quantify. This is very difficult to quantify. This can be measured based on perception. Perception, as I said, I have just shown you that two teachers of the same institution. We have given you the example, Dr. Tasneem and Archana. Both of them are having different thought of mind about themselves or different people. So that Q part which I am talking is much more important in internal scan. How to judge this Q part, big Q, qualitative part. How to judge this part? This is the most important part of the story. Let's say you have right set of numbers which are required as per statutory authority, or even say better than that ratios required. It is a strength. Definitely yes. But consider that set of people, teachers are there, number is there, they have the right qualifications, let's say all are PhD. But second part of the story is they are not motivated due to any or many reasons. They don't want to go to class and teach. Although they have to go to class, but they don't want to teach. These are two different things. One, going to class is a mandate. Anybody can say this thing, you have to go to class because this is a mandate of a teacher. He can't say, I won't go to class. You can be forcefully sent to the class. But teaching in the class with mission, teaching in the class with your will, teaching in the class with your commitment, teaching in the class with your motivation, that is most important part of the story. If you're not performing like it, you don't want to go to the class and teach in the passion it should be, I think this is a negative aspect from you for the institution. This is more negative than positive. Having qualification number is okay, quantity is okay, but quality is the part which is more important in any academic institution, which is difficult to measure. That's the reason I said if you are to go in for internal scan, you have to get the data at different levels about the same set of people. This data may be from the teachers themselves. This data may be from the peers. This data may be from seniors. This data may be from students. This data may be from alumni. This may be from other stakeholders who can give their opinion on that part of the story. That gives to the right perspective. So getting this type of all data about one set of P is not an easy task. And then crisscrossing that data and then analyzing it and getting the right information is the base for getting the right scan. This is with the first part P. Second P is properties. Second P is property. Properties means any infrastructure, buildings, labs, equipment, libraries, workshop, auditorium, guest house, machinery, tools, vehicle, furniture, whatever is there to required to run the institution. In terms of quantity, this is checked by the statutory authorities, and this has to be there to have the affiliation or regulation, the fulfillment of the regulatory authority. This is available in most of the institutions. Whether these are, this is mostly available, I am saying. But again, Q part, second, this small Q is okay. Big Q. In many of the institutions, classrooms are there. But let's say LCD is also available. Let's say interactive screen is also available. Then there can be two issues. By chance, availability is there, but at the time when it is right, it's not working. This is one part of the story. Or the teacher is not capable of using that part of the story. Many times equipment is available, but teacher doesn't know how to use it. Or it is not working when it is required. The qualitative part. First Q is okay, but second Q is not okay. When second Q is not okay, it more becomes a weakness than a strength. Even if you have the Q, small Q, but if you don't have the big Q, it becomes a weakness. So first two scans are the scans of people and properties. Third P is Your processes. These processes are available in every institution. Governance, management and administration, curriculum development, teaching learning, student support services, staff development, information system, communication, and many such processes. These are available in any institution. But the quality or the effectiveness of these or the efficiency of these processes gives the second part, which is equally important to be measured. And as I told you, the second part, which is not really tangible, gives the real picture of your SWOT. In this case, what we generally do, we make tangible, intangible part into tangible part, because it is generally said what gets measured gets done. That's the reason we try to convert quality into quantity based on the perception of individuals, and then go in for that scan. That scan is called the qualitative scan. So third P is there for internal scan, and fourth P is your products. Products are the students, their pass percentage in the exam, their job placement. Again, placement may be there for 100%, but type of placement, type of industry, type of package, this gives the qualitative picture. Publications, you may have some publications in your journals, different type of journals, but level of journal. Number may be required for regulatory authority, number may be required for NBA, but still the quality of publications is very, very important for moving ahead. Whether this is an SCA journal, what is the H index, what is the I index, all these things are important in terms of the fourth P. So this gives the internal scan. Any questions, any queries till now? Based on all these four, you can have the internal scan in terms of the strengths and weaknesses of any institution, which are controllable. Strengths and weaknesses of the institution, which are controllable. Now I'm going to give you the tips of the second part, the external scan. External scan means scan of the environment. Here you can take that acronym as STEEP. Acronym is STEEP. STEEP. Each alphabet has some meaning. Each alphabet has some meaning. What is the meaning of each? I'm giving you examples of strengths and weaknesses of the institution here. Experience, resources, patents, good reputation, originality, customer service, efficiency, competitive advantages, demography, all these things are part and parcel of the strengths and weaknesses of the institution. Whichever is less is a weakness, whichever is more is a strength. Whichever is giving you the technical advantage is a strength. Whichever is giving you the disadvantage is a weakness. As per the external scan, I have given you the acronym STEEP. S means social, T means technological, E means economic, E means environmental, and sometimes E or another E is also called educational. And finally, P is called political. These are the issues or the factors which impact any institution. These are all outside the institution. These are in the environment which is outside the institution, or the which impact the institution to such an extent that these become opportunities for some institution or the challenges for the other institution, or for the same institution these become the challenges. What these are? Social factors. Social factors can be in terms of demographic. Social factor can be in the term of participation of women, participation of or opportunities of disabled group. Social factors can be reservation. Social factors can be community effects or impacts. Social factors can be social schemes which are impacting your organization or the institution as a whole, and these are outside your institution. These are impacting. You can't say you have control on all these things. You don't have any control, but sometimes you can use it for your find advantage. Like when ACT started a scheme in which the institutions which were already started in the past, I'm talking, they could open an institution for, especially for women. They were giving some incentive to these institutions. Many of the managements opened simultaneous engineering colleges for women, because at that time technical education was in boom, and the educational institutions were opening up at a very fast pace. They were having, and I must say the demand was so high, whosoever was opening institution was running the show in a nice fashion. So these type of social schemes, these type of social factors impact you, and these can become opportunity for some and disadvantage for the others, or the challenges for the other. This is one part of the story, S first part. Then second part is T, technological factors. What these technological factors are? These technological factors can be impact of automation, impact of ICT, impact of now AI, artificial intelligence. Is it not impacting us all? Or will it not impact us all? There are many studies which are saying AI is replacing teachers, AI is replacing manpower, and many such issues. If these are going to come at a fast pace, then we have to adopt. We may use it as an opportunity, or we may take it as a challenge, and you accordingly work for this challenge to succeed. That's the reason I said all these things impact us a lot, any institution. Then comes in economic factors. Economic factors can be, these started with LPG. One of the biggest economic change which has come during the past few years is LPG. Liberalization, privatization, and globalization of economy. With this, what happened? Knowledge is available anywhere. You can have the knowledge. Liberalization. Any technology can be hired. Any technology can be available at a different places. Privatization, opening up of institutions, opening up of the industries by private players, and many such issues in partnerships were available, which was not there in the past. With this economic opening, many of the institutions which have come, almost all the institutions which are part of this program, I think 6, are part of the privatization process. Had this not come, economic issues, these institutions would not have been there. And what is the benefit of this opportunity? With the opening up of these, lot many opportunities for people who were having right set of qualifications got employment in these. This was a great opportunity. But what happened with the passage of time? When privatization was to such an extent, when demand and supply came into picture, what happened? More number of players are available for giving you education. More number of institutions are there, but still they could not maintain the quality, or the demand for this engineering education came down a little bit. It impacted you. It impacted you in terms of unemployment, underemployment. So same issue, which is an opportunity at one point of time, can be a challenge for the other person at other point of time. That's the reason I said external scan is equally important, because based on this, you can rightly place your strategies, you can formulate your strategies to move ahead in your life. Then environmental factors. These are known to everybody. Resources are reducing. Pollution is increasing. Raw material is reducing or being used at different times. Energy consumption is enhancing. Regulations of WTO are changing. All these are impacting you in one form or the other. And accordingly, you are to make your strategy. And lastly, political factors. Legislations, controls, regulations, policies, budgets, teacher qualifications changes, centralization versus decentralization. All these are political issues which are impacting you and accordingly can help you in using them as an opportunity or taking it as a challenge and work accordingly. So this gives you the external scan. Let me show you some of the opportunities and threats. Networking with other organizations, because I told you if you won't work, you nobody is self-sufficient. If you won't work with the others in today's age, you can't survive. You have to have network, you have to have MOUs, maybe with industries, maybe other parallel institutions, maybe foreign partners, to be successful, to move ahead. What is happening, and because I'm part of parcel of many of the ACT committees or at NB or not, the change now is many of the private players are having collaborations with foreign players and starting those programs in twinning approach or sharing of culture, sharing of resources, sharing of students. All these are being part of. Some are taking it as an opportunity and moving ahead. Some are considering it as a challenge and finding it difficult to move ahead. Similarly, opportunity can be new products, new programs, new type of services which are being given by the institutions. These services are, let me tell you, in many of the institutions which were running diploma programs are running now skill development programs. This is a total different set of services which were not being run in the diploma institutions, or even some of the degree institutions are also running skill development programs or are having new type of program, maybe AI, maybe IoT, or maybe in many other new areas, AR, VR. They are running these shows to compete, to survive, to succeed in this world. Increasing market demand. This can be opportunity for a few who are going to fulfill this demand, who are going to take it as a challenge, who are going to accept it as a challenge and move ahead. But on the other hand, a few who are not able to give the right product, this can become a weakness or a challenge for them to fulfill the demand of the market. Targeting a new market segment for projects and program means lunging into new program, new activity, new areas, fulfilling the requirement. These are all set of opportunities and threats. So friends, this is the SWOT of an institution. This is how it is made. I have written almost 5 strengths or 5, 6 strengths, similarly weaknesses, similarly opportunities, and similarly challenges or threats. Let me show you some real example now. This is an example of industry. Assume that a car manufacturing company has recently launched its products. If I am to perform a SWOT analysis of this, or the company is performing the SWOT analysis, what the SWOT analysis will be? Let me show it to you. Because I am giving you the examples of industry. I have given you recently the example of the networking of different automotive industries or companies. Let me give you the similar example now. This is a possibility of SWOT. Now, this company is a new company now. This company is opening up a new challenge and taking EV as a model. What are its strengths, which can be helpful for it to grow? No competition is EV segment, not much competition, I may say. Even in today's scenario, not much competition is there in EV segment. Many less partners are there. A few organizations are there only which can be in this game. Strength one is not much competition. Second is environment friendly, because there is a lot of impact, stress on environment. And if it is environment friendly, this is really a helping issue or strength for the institution or the industry. Third is economic to drive. The cost is very less for driving it. And another fifth example is government is providing lot many subsidies. Even in Chandigarh, if you say they have made a policy of 5 years regarding EV, and on almost every vehicle they are of costing more than 10 lakhs, they are giving a subsidy, or I may say rebate in road tax insurance or to a tune of 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs. So this is a big gain for today. This is a big strength for you to work in this direction. Opportunity. What is the opportunity for the same segment of or for the same set of people? Opportunity is huge untapped EV market because future is EV. So they can grow very nicely in this segment. This is an opportunity. So another opportunity is growing demand of green technologies. This is another opportunity. Rising fuel costs. This is a challenge for those cars which are running on the fossil fuels. But in the case of EV, this is a great opportunity for me to make this vehicle. Opportunity. Growing road congestion in urban cities. What I am trying to convey with this? Is it an opportunity or a challenge? This is the question I am asking you. Growing road congestion in urban cities. How this is an opportunity? How this is an opportunity? Would anybody like to comment? Because I am writing this as an opportunity. Growing road congestion in urban cities. How it is an opportunity? This is an opportunity because the vehicle will go to another segment which is going to be in rural areas. Earlier, these type of facilities are not there in the rural areas. Even the stations, EV stations are not there. This type of infrastructure is to be developed in the future. This is an opportunity I can use. I can plan for this, and accordingly I can avail that. Weaknesses, high price. Definitely the initial models of EV are very high. Low aesthetic appeal. Most of the EVs are not very beautiful. Small driving range. This is another problem of most of the EV vehicles. Competition from gasoline vehicles. Definitely yes. Because they're even after giving all these subsidies, let me tell you, the sale of these vehicles is not enhancing at a pace it should be. For a company which is coming new into the market, it wants profit after some time. The profit making will be at a long distance because when all these sources will be developed, then they will be getting the profit. When most of the people will be buying, then it will be the profit. But presently, if there is a competition from gasoline vehicle, which are more in number, it becomes a weakness for that company because they don't have the range in that. Then the threats. Government set incentives to CNG vehicles also. At many processes, CNG is part of the story. Many of the incentives are being given by the government to CNG vehicle. Entry of competitors. Now, competition, because this sector is growing, players are going to come. This can be a challenge for the new beginner or beginner. Then stringent safety requirements anticipated earlier, what we were talking. We were not most of the Indian vehicles were not working on safety factors. Even the bank tests which are there now being implemented, which were not there in the past. What we are saying, head-on plane test and these type of things which are not for airbags, all the air seats with airbags, these type of stringent safety measures were not there. These are going to be a great threat for a new company because it leads to enhancement of the cost. Availability of hybrid vehicles. There are some hybrid vehicles available in the market which are in demand because people think that EV has so many, although they may be strength, but there are some weaknesses in terms of its movement, in term, as I've showed you, driving range is less. People are preferring hybrid vehicles. Due to this reason, this becomes a challenge to compete in the hybrid vehicle world. So these are some of the things I wanted to give you in terms of example. How, what exactly is SWOT of any project or any initiative? Now I request you, this may be discussed later on. I think I have given you most of the inputs I wanted to give you. Uh, any queries, any questions, if you have, you are most welcome to ask me. Although I'm not given a lot many details which I have in this presentation because of the paucity of time, but still, what message I wanted to give it to you through this presentation is, if you are to judge your SWOT of the institution for internal scan, remember 4 P's. 4 P's are people, properties, processes, and products. And under this again, small q and the big Q. Small q is quantitative part, big Q is qualitative part. Then comes the second part of the story, which you may say opportunities or challenges. For that, the acronym is STEEP. For that, external scan is required, and that external scan consists of social factors, technological factors which can impact your institution, like then economic factors, environmental factors, and political factors. High technological factors are talking. Let me tell you, let me give you an example. I go for MBA into many of the institutions. While judging the automation or the number of computers in different labs as per the requirement, there are some numbers. Many a times I have found number is okay. Let's say if they need 180 computers, they may be having 200 computers. But when we check their configurations and their other specifications, they are pretty old. They cannot have the software type of softwares which are required to be used in today's scenario for better efficiency, better effectiveness, and better quality. What is the use of that? The technology in terms of numbers is okay, but in terms of their application, it may not be okay. In terms of their quality, it may not be okay. They are just a junk machines in terms of numbers, but other these are going to serve the purpose for which these are required in the institution, to give the right technical inputs to the students? No. You can judge this in your institutions also. Many a times the number is okay, but quality of the automation, quality of machine, quality of equipment is not as per the requirements of the day, is not as per the requirements of the industry, is not of the state of the art. What is the use of having numbers then? What is the use of having the machine which is not workable? What is the use of that, having a dead machine where the teachers or the staff doesn't know how to operate it? Or the things which is okay in terms of quantity may not always be okay in terms of quality. And when it is not okay in terms of quality, it becomes a weakness or a challenge rather than strength or an opportunity. This is what I wanted to convey you through my presentation till now. No, I understand you are to, I am to complete this session because most of the institutions get closed by 4 or 4:30. Now, any queries, any questions you have, you are most welcome. Any queries, any questions, most welcome. And lastly, I will be showing this slide to you. Do's and don'ts while doing this exercise of SWOT. Be analytical and specific. When you were identifying your strengths and weaknesses, you were not specific. You were giving me that story type. You were not able to identify the specific what it actually is exactly. Record all thoughts and ideas, like in brainstorming. Be selective in final evaluation. This is do. Choose the right people for this exercise. Choose a suitable SWOT leader or facilitator, because this exercise is very important. Coordination is a must. Think out of box. What is my strength? What is my weakness? How I can use the opportunity? How I can use I can overcome the challenge. Be open to change. These are some of the do's and don'ts. Don't disguise weaknesses, because a chain breaks on the weakest links. If you are going to disguise your weakness, you are bound to fail someday. Don't list only errors and mistakes. Errors and mistakes are not weaknesses or strengths. Understand this thing. Error can be done anytime. Mistake can be done anytime, even with your strength. Don't lose sight of external influences and trends. Must understand external influences. Must understand technological changes which are coming. Must understand their impact. Don't think that SWOT is a blame game exercise, that this is not being done by X, this is not being done by Y. And always, finally, I will say, use it as an quality important improvement exercise. This is in all from my side. Thanks. Thank you, friends. Any queries, any questions, you are most welcome to ask me.